Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Stacy. Tonight we're going to do a story time. I had promised you guys the story. For those of you that was on, I'm not sure if it was the first live or the second live on Saturday, but Tika and I was talking, and some of you kind of heard. I know for a fact Roxy, I am Roxy Rocks, I know she heard us because she come in. I'm like, you got some good ears, but so it had to be on my second one. Let's try this again, or let's try it again, or something like that. But either way, um the story time was about, I used to date this guy. Okay. um and we dated for 4 years, and it got to a point where, we were still dating, we were dating or what have you. It was a time, this is like 12 years ago, everybody. This is like 12 years ago. But me and him we had been dating for 4 years. It came a time that Michael dad needed to stay with us. Me and Michael dad, once we broke up, we became really good friends. So when he needed me, I was there for him, and vice versa. That's just how we did things. And a lot of people, whoever I was dating, couldn't understand it because, they think once you had access to a person on that level and y'all got kids together or a child together, they feel like you always got the access. And that's not true. But in this case, when we stopped, and that was when Michael was 2 months old. But anyway, that's a different story. But we were really good friends. It came a time when he needed to live with us. And so he stayed with us for like 6 months. During that time, I was seeing someone. He was seeing someone. So it wasn't like there was any extra stuff going on. It was none of that. Absolutely none of that. Well, the guy that I was seeing, he has took on a job that was taking him in and out of town or what have you. And so he eventually end up staying in hotels because it didn't make sense for him to keep paying for a place when he was in between here and other states. He was, doing a lot of deliveries to different states, and that kind of stuff, because he was in the delivery business and then became in the moving business, that kind of stuff. But either way, it got to a point where he was working in and out of Georgia. Well, he started, so when he would be here, because he would come on, like, maybe he'd be here in Georgia maybe every other weekend or something like that. But when he would come back to Georgia, he would stay in hotels. Well, one night he asked me to come over. When he was in town, I went over, whatever. It was it had to be during the week because this was a school night. I do remember that. So he would come in and out of town. Like I said, he would be in every other weekend. But then sometimes he would be in town for maybe a week, but he would still be out, going in and out of town. But anyway, that's not important. The important part is he was in town. He asked me to come over. I went over, and he, when it came time for me to get ready to leave, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go home because it's a school night. I gotta get my kids up and on, get them ready for school, whatever. Michael's dad was there, so I knew they was fine. I knew they was in the bed, whatever. But he got mad because he felt like I had to go home to Michael's dad, and I'm saying like, no, that has nothing to do with it. I have to get home because he has to get up early in the morning. But at the same time, if he decide, it's late. If he decide he want to go see his lady, then I need to be at home with my kids. But I knew he wasn't going nowhere for that night. But the point is, I need to go home. It was a weeknight, and he got so angry with me, y'all. Like, he really got so angry. And so we going back and forth with this. I gotta go. Finally, he was like, "Okay, fine, Stace. You want to go home? You ain't gotta go home. You just want to go be with him." And you know how they talk, real wretched and crazy. You just want to go be with him, And I'm like, that is so not true. I really gotta go home to my kids. But let's not make this into a big deal. I mean, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, I'll be back because, but let's not do this. It's late. It's like 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So, okay. So I tried to, he walks me out to my truck. I had a Jeep at the time. He walks me to my car. And somehow he gets in the car with me. That's what it was. He gets in the car with me. He asked me to take him to the convenience store. So he's like, since you might just run me to the convenience store and then, bring me back. Okay, fine. That's what I did. Because it didn't make sense for him to go back and then get his keys and then drive. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I took him to the store. Well, when we got back, that was just really his way of just, keeping me there longer. He was really just trying to run the clock out, keep me there all night or whatever, So somehow we got into an argument. When I got back to the hotel, and I was like, okay, I'm waiting for you to get out. He won't get out. So it became an argument. So now we're fussing. Y'all, we end up, I'm like, I kept trying to leave. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to leave with you. Okay, you go fool around. You going to be back at my spot, and you're going to have to figure out how to get back here. So he wouldn't get out of the car, so I started driving out. Then he's like, okay, let me out. I'm finna get out. But he was like, so then he apologized. Everything kind of diffused. And so he was like, I know you saying that there's nothing between y'all, but I just feel like you leaving me to try to get to him. That is so not true, sweetheart. I just really need to go home. So, he kind of, how it is, pulled me back into a conversation. So he ended up out of the truck, but he ended up at my driver's side. But he was cool. And so, I had to run down, we talking. And so then it was like, okay, he asked for a kiss. I gave him a kiss. But then when he wouldn't take his arm out the car. He leaning inside the car. And so next thing you know, we fussing again. Because I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, you keep flipping on 1 minute. Either way, y'all, it got progressively worse really quick. And where we were parked at, where the hotel was located, it was right next to, we was in this big parking lot. And other trucks, 18-wheelers and stuff, were parking in the parking lot overnight. Well, he, out of nowhere, next thing I know, I had a knife to my neck. And I'm smiling, but it was crazy because it happened so fast. He had a knife to my neck. And he was talking about, and he was like, I'll cut you from ear to ear. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell just happened? And mind you, this is somebody that I have been with for 4 years. This, what he was doing, made no sense to me. He's never been violent towards me. Never had he been violent. We was good. We had a good relationship. We had a good friendship. We had fun together. I met him through my uncle. He was cool with my entire family because he had met everybody. And, at the time, my mom, that's when the ministry had started, whatever. Like I said, this was 12 years ago. So he used to always call my mom that pretty preacher lady. That's what that was his nickname for her, pretty preacher lady. So everybody knew him. Everybody was cool. The kids was cool with him. And when he did this, I'm sitting here with this big, huge knife to my neck. I'm like, I don't, at this point, I got to, I don't know what to say. But I'm sitting here like, I'm really puzzled at this point, everybody. And then, I guess in the process of what was going on, because it was this arguing back and forth, and now he is just belligerent. He just going off, just cussing. And like I said, remember, it's late at night. We're in the parking lot, so there's nothing else in the parking lot. So his voice was loud and echoing. Anybody could hear him very clearly. Well, it was this 18-wheeler that had pulled up. And when, I guess the guy, and I'm so thankful for the guy, because apparently the guy was paying attention. I guess it was out of place. This parking lot is usually empty. Here go a vehicle, the lights is on. You see this guy leaning into this vehicle. he couldn't see me, but I guess he knew something was going on because he hear him cussing and threatening to slit my throat, and he just kept saying he'll cut me from ear to ear and da 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 da, and he just going on. And then next thing I know, the truck driver gets out of his truck because the way he was parked, I guess he eventually saw it was a woman in the car. I don't know. I just know he gets out the vehicle with his gun in it. He gets out of his truck. I jump out of his cab. He has a gun in his hand. And he was like, hey, what's going on? So when he said that, the guy that I was with at the time, he stepped back from the car and was like, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Well, when he said that, mind you, the whole time, my vehicle was running. So my car was still in drive. I had my foot on the brake, and I'm so thankful. So when the truck driver said something to him, it distracted him, and he turned his attention to the guy. When he did that, I hit the gas and I took off. Okay? I took off. I didn't slow down. I took off, and I hightailed it home. When I got home, I let Michael dad know what had happened, and I wasn't worried about him coming to my house or anything like that. He didn't do that. So after that happened, I told Michael's dad what had happened. He was like in flip mode or whatever, but he's not a violent person. He's very laid back. His thing is, he just better not come over here, and you better not see him again. Well, you ain't got to tell me that. First of all, I don't like that kind of carrying on. I'm adventurous, but I don't like that kind of carrying on. You don't put knives to my neck. You don't threaten my life, and I'm gonna still deal with you. That's just so not how I do things. And I was really tripping because I was puzzled, like, what happened? But it didn't matter at that point. See, at that point, why you did it was so irrelevant to me. The fact that you did it, I'm done. There's nothing else we can talk about. So after that, I didn't take none of his calls, didn't return none of his texts, anything. He ended up, and I had a home phone at that time, that's when home phones are still big, but I had cell phone, home phone. He kept texting me, I wouldn't respond. He kept calling, I wouldn't respond. So he calling the house phone, I wouldn't answer. I end up changing the number. So eventually, weird things started happening, y'all. I remember one day, I was getting ready to go somewhere one night. It was one of the nights that he had kept calling me. And I wouldn't answer. He literally, and then he kept coming to my door. This particular night, he did come to the door. He kept beating on the door, and I was like, if you don't get away from my door, I'm going to call the police. And I did call the police. But where the apartment complex I lived in, by the time the police got there, he had done dipped off into the cut. So it was like a pathway to another apartment complex behind my building. You walk through the breezeway, and the path was right there, and you just go into the next complex, And that's what he did. So needless to say, the police was like, nobody's out here, but he was like, this is my area. I'll just keep coming through, da-da-da. And that's exactly what the police officer did. He even at one point came back to my door and knocked on it and identified himself. I looked out. I saw the squad car. Opened the door. He was like, just checking on you. Everything's fine. I haven't heard anything else from him. Which apparently he must have went on home. He left me alone that night. Well, some nights later, I was getting ready to go somewhere late one evening. It wasn't night. It was evening time. Once I was getting ready to run to the store or something. But either way, I go outside. There was 2 dead snakes in front of my vehicle with some stuff all on it. And I was sitting here like, so that scared me. Then one day I went out of my house, and on my front porch, my cousin was there on my front porch. There was a pile of boo-boo on my doormat. There was a pile of boo-boo. It was just crazy stuff happening. So eventually, I met a friend, met this guy. We really was. I was like, he liked me. I know he did, but like I told him, at this point in my life, I just need a friend. So he really became that for me, my best buddy. Eventually, I moved from the complex. I didn't let the guy know that I had moved. But I remember I told you guys early in the story, I met him through my uncle. Well, I told my uncle he knew about the incident, but probably about this happened, and then, other things took place in between. I'm just trying to chop up the story a little bit. Fast forward about a year later, I done moved. I moved like in March, and my birthday is April 27th. I moved. He didn't know I moved, and eventually, I guess he went by the apartment. He realized I wasn't there anymore. He ended up running into my uncle. I went by the apartment. My uncle, I don't know why he did what he did, but either way, he was like, "Oh yeah, Stacy moved. She got a house," and da 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 da. And he just going on running his mouth. He like, "Oh no, I didn't know. Yeah, she down on the other end of Reading and Panola and da 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 down there by the high school." So make a long story short, apparently my uncle gave him directions to my new spot. Well, I did not know. Apparently he had been watching my house, going by my house. He had gotten a new car and I didn't know it. Well, on my birthday, April 27th, I was getting ready to go. I was out in the yard. I was the new kid on the block. We had been in the new house for about like a month and a half, almost 2 months. So I'm still the new kid on the block, me and my children. The lady across the street became like a mother figure to me. She just, it was my birthday. She had brought me something for my birthday. My neighbors just really, really took to me. I had just moved in. My neighbor, she called me, "Baby, I got you something for your birthday. Come get it." She was an older woman, had health issues. So, I used to go and sit with her during the daytime. And just, sit and talk to her, read books with her, whatever she wanted to do. I would just spend time with her because she was sick, but she was such a sweet woman. And I would just spend time with her every day. Or if she needed me to do something, I did whatever, because she really just latched on to me like I was her daughter. So anyway, my birthday, I'm out in the yard. I see this silver car pass by, but I ain't paying attention. It had tinted windows. Next thing I know, the car passed by again. I'm thinking, it's a neighborhood. It's daytime. Then the car comes and stops right there in front of my house. And he lets down his window. And when he let down his window, y'all, my heart dropped. Because I was stuck and I was stunned. I couldn't say nothing. I ain't seen this man in maybe a year. I didn't even know he knew where I moved to. And to see him, and again, it's like in my head, I remember I've seen this car so many times over here throughout the week, early in the morning, in the evening, in the middle of I've seen this vehicle, never knew it was him. Tinted windows, didn't know he had a new car. Well, he start, I'm sitting here like, he's like, "Oh, you surprised to see me?" Yeah, that to say the least, yeah. Your uncle, I said, "How did you find me?" Your uncle gave me, I said, "I should have known." So I'm sitting like, we have nothing to talk about, nothing. And he just like snapped off. He was like, "Can we please talk?" "No, we cannot." Next thing you know, he went from, "I miss you, can we please talk," to, "You know what? I hate I ever met you," and da 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 da. "All you do is play with people's hearts." And I'm like, what is this man talking about? Because at first it was, "Happy birthday. I brought you something. Can we talk? I want to take you out to dinner for your birthday." "No, I'm good. And so he backs up into my yard. I'm thinking he finna leave. Because I hate I ever met you, and all you do is play with my heart, and da da da, and all you did was play with my heart. I'm like, no, I never did that. He backs up into my yard. I'm thinking this man finna to leave, y'all. This man pulls out a gun and pointed it directly at me. I'm standing in my yard, and This man had a look in his eyes that I have never seen before. It was like I can't even describe it, but I guess the closest I to describe what he was looking like, he looked like a totally different person. He looked like he had so much hatred for me at that very moment. Like he really hated me, and he really didn't want to see me living. Like, and he was like, you playing with my heart, and I love you, and you know, you won't even give me a chance, and da 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 da, and all that. We was together for 4 years, and you mean tell me you can't? I'm trying to make it up to you, and you know what? I drop you where you fucking stand. And I'm sitting here like, and y'all, I'm telling you, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. I had never seen this look in this man's face before, and I promise you, the thought that went through my head at that moment was, God, I know this is not the way that I'm finna die. I know I'm not finna die on my birthday in my front yard. And it's like I didn't, honestly, y'all, at that moment, I didn't know what that man was going to do. I honestly didn't know what he was going to do. And all I could think about is I'm a single mother. My kids got different fathers. If this man kills me right here, my children are going to grow up not knowing. Because they're going to end up getting separated. If my mother don't take them out, they're going to be separated because their dads will go come get them, and they'll probably never see each other again. All I could think about was my children. My ears went numb. I don't know what all he said, but I'm telling you, he looked like he really wanted to kill me. And like, honestly, like he really, I really believe that man was finna pull that trigger. And then out of nowhere, it was a whole bunch of beating. Like somebody was beating on windows. And when we both looked up at the house, and it was my kids in the window, beating on the window, yelling because they saw this. And I'm telling you, they had to have blocked. You know how you block out things? They must have blocked it out. But I'm telling you, when my children saw that, that was, when he looked up and he saw them, that's when he put his arm back in the car and he sped off. And I was so shaken up at first, y'all. I couldn't move. I was literally just like, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. I was stuck in that one spot. Tears just running down my face. I realized that I very well could have died that very day. I ended up, when I finally got my thoughts together, I ran in the house. I ended up calling the police. Police came. My kids, they was like, did you have any witnesses? Yes, my children. So I had to, you know, and the police was like, because I had witnesses, this police officer was such, when I tell you that man was a wonderful man. He told me to go in the house. He was like, tomorrow morning, you need to go down to the Cobb County. He told me what to do. He told me everything I needed to do. He said, and he even gave me his number. He gave, you know, of course I give you their badge number and all their incident report. But he gave me his personal number. If you need me to come up there, I will. That man, he said, go in the house and just try to get some sleep. He said, I'll stay out. He said, I'm going to sit out here in front of your house for at least an hour to make sure he don't come back. He said, but I don't get off till in the morning. He said, so I will keep coming by your house. And I will keep checking on you. And he asked me for my phone number. I gave the police officer my phone number. He said, I will call you every time I get ready. And this, yeah, he said, I will call you every time I get ready to come by your house. I will call you and let you know that I'm out here. And that man did exactly that, y'all. Next morning, my friend, I told him he was the one, because come to find out, all of this anger came because he would see my friend's car in my yard. He was seeing this guy at my house all the time. He thought this was my new man, and it wasn't. This was the guy that I met that I knew liked me, but I told him I needed a friend. I didn't need nobody trying to sleep with me. I just needed a friend. And he was like, I'll be that. And that's what it was. And y'all, I ended up taking a warrant out for his arrest. And the thing was, he forgot I knew where he lived at. So of course I had all his information, and they sent all that stuff to his house. By this time, I told you all he was in and out of state. Well, after this, I did not know he was living here, but when all of this happened, and before it was time for us to go to court and all, because they went ahead and granted me the restraining order, and they put a warrant out for his arrest. Well, he left the state. He moved completely out of the state, and for a long time, I really lived in fear, because I never knew. It's like every time I saw a silver Charger, I would get scared because I didn't know it was him. But eventually I ended up going to his mom's house. Make a long story short, I ended up going to her house. I told her everything that took place, and she assured me, you ain't got to worry about him no more. And I knew she wasn't playing. And I didn't hear from him until for years after that. And it was only because he ran into my uncle again, and my uncle gave him my phone number. And I'm like, Tony, oh, I didn't mean to call out my uncle's name, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, do you not remember the things I told you that he is? Why do you keep giving this man a way to have access to me again? I'm like, you go fool around and you ain't gonna have my phone number. But he didn't bother me. He did, however, call me and apologize for everything. And, he explained everything. This was years and years later. I'm like, okay, apology accepted. I forgive you. Be blessed. You go on about your business. I'm sure enough going on about mine. And that's what I did. To this day, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if he's still living. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. And honestly, I wish, hey, be blessed. Just don't be around me no more. But yeah, that was scary, y'all. That was the one time in my life that I would say my children saved my life, literally. Because I believe at the moment that they start beating on the window, I truly believe that man was going to pull that trigger. And I know he had so much anger and hatred in him at that moment. It wouldn't have been a one shot. He would have probably filled me up. And see, when I think back to things like that, that's how I know. I'm like, I'm still here for a reason. And this is why, different ones, I got some negative stuff about my Mr. Wrongs or whatever, but this is why, when I see a little sign of crazy in anybody, this is why I will cut you off so quick. I'm not giving, and I meant that, I'm not giving another person the opportunity to nut up on me to the point that you want to kill me. And that is scary. And I'm telling you, now when I meet a man, if from that day forward, I don't care how long I've known you. I don't care if I just don't. I see a little sign of crazy, and I'm getting the hell out of Dodge, like they say. I'm not trying to figure out anything. I'm done. I'm going on, and if I have to get the law involved, that's what I'm going to do. This is why. This is one of the reasons, you all, why I am not quick to get in a relationship with nobody. Because I'm like, when you got me, you got me. You had me. I was yours. but you didn't want to do the right thing, or for whatever reason things didn't work out. And now that I'm trying to go about my business and I'm wishing you want to hurt me? No, no. And see, to me, that makes me, did you ever don't love me to death. Don't, I've had guys say, I can't live without you. You a lie. Yes, you can. You was living before you met me. Come on now. Yes, you can live. You might be upset or hurt for a hot minute, but trust me, keep your eyes open. The next woman go get your attention. Don't hurt. Don't try to hurt me because things don't work out. Sometimes you're just not a good fit for somebody. That doesn't mean, don't get so angry and so upset that you feel like if I can't have you, nobody can have you. That is scary. There's a lot of that going on now. That's been going on for years. That is why when I see any sign that you're a violent person, that you will, and if you tell me you'll kill me, I'm gonna believe you. You might have been joking. You don't play with me like that. Hey, you say that to me, you ain't gotta worry about me no more. But that's why I'm a true observer of people. I have to pay attention to your actions, because see, I hear what you're saying, but I got to look and see what you're doing, because your personality, your character, who you are is going to show up. You can only fake who you are for so long. The real man or woman is going to at some point stand up. So y'all, I'm still here, and I'm telling you, it's a blessing. I'm here to tell the story. And I'm sharing this story with you because if you're in something and it don't feel right, if you find a way to get out. I was blessed because when it got ugly, I got out immediately, because after the knife to the neck, that was it for me. But I guess it wasn't, he didn't have clothes. I don't know. I just know that was scary. That was scary. And I've had other scary incidents, but that one was the one that I truly believe in my heart, that had my children not started beating on that window, I truly believe in my heart that man was going to kill me. So, yeah. I'm not going to get emotional. I'm not. But let me tell you something. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. Love yourself enough that if you're in anything that is not adding to your life, that is threatening, if you're in a threatening relationship, talk to people. Do what you got to do. Figure it out. Find somebody. Figure out a way to get out of it. That doesn't mean some people can just walk away, but sometimes, like I said, you got to ease your hand out of the lion's mouth. I'm here, like I said, I'm here to tell the story. And now it's a blessing. I thank God that I'm still here. And this is why I don't take life for granted, because at the blink of an eye, your life can end for whatever reason. And this is why I purposely, every day, I purposely wake up and say, I am going to have a good day. I have to speak life over me. I pray over myself. I pray over my kids. And I just try to be as happy as I can every single day. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this story. I hope it helps somebody. I hope if you're in something and you see one sign of crazy, get the hell out. Don't give them a chance to see, well, he was just playing loud. He ain't gonna do that. Don't give nobody. Don't put yourself in a position and you're giving somebody the opportunity to hurt you. If you see a little sign of crazy or violence or controlling, please find a way. Find somebody that'll listen. Tell it to everybody that'll listen, and find your way out of it. I love you all. God bless you. Take care of yourself. And until next time. And please don't forget to like this video. Leave your comments below. And I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Be blessed.